Hey everyone,
Hey.
welcome to Deux, Witches, another episode. There is no guest this week for those of you who are asking in chat. There is no guest. Let me mute my mic. Okay, I'm getting texts about the show as well. Yay to be popular, but come on now. Hi everyone, and Karen, I know you're watching. Hi Karen, I love you. Tonight there is no guest, just ObsidianFire and I hope that doesn't break your hearts, guys and girls and women and men, whatever and whatever.
Yeah.
And everything in between, the spectrum. We're talking about trendy witchcraft today. And I think I put a couple of, what did I say? Trendy witchcraft and how it affects our practice. Is that what I said? What did I say? I said something very witty and now I can't remember. I said thoughts and feelings and insights about, I can't even read it without making it pop up, and I don't want to do that. But does it affect our practice? Basically, how does it affect witchcraft in general with the whole idea of trendy witchcraft? And what I meant by that is how witchcraft seems to have become a trend. I mean, does that affect does that affect witchcraft on on a whole? And if it does, how does it affect witchcraft on a whole? And then personally, how do we feel? What are our opinions about this whole idea of witchcraft as a trend? Because I have some opinions about that. I know ObsidianFire does too.
Yeah.
And as we talk about this, please, for those of you, hi, yeah, Karen, there she is. She's in chat. Hi, Johnny. Hi, Shadow. Hi, Daisy. Hi, Nikolai. Hi, Dylan. I'm trying to see who are usual. Hi, Johnny, our usuals, and everybody else that hasn't tuned in. Shadow. Yeah, I said Shadow. Is that Shadow? Which Shadow is that? Is that Shadow Sun? Or is that the other Shadow?
It's the other Shadow, I would
say. Is Per in our chat tonight?
Yeah.
Per, are you there? Oh, Flory Mel is there.
Yeah.
Hi, Sarah. Per is, did you see Per? Hey, Shell. Look at everybody. Oh my God, they were having a discussion before we were even live, man. Okay, so trendy witchcraft, and I'm going to include Insta Witches in there because ObsidianFire and I were discussing it, and that's really, I guess, not, and what I want to really say is the discussion here isn't about individuals who are studying witchcraft, who are studying it, who are actually studying it, reading about it, looking into it. What I'm talking about is companies, authors, individuals who are pretending or who are using witchcraft as a fashion or as a an accessory. That's what I mean by it.
Yeah.
Hey, Ruby.
Yeah, but the difficult thing is to make the difference between the trendiness around witchcraft and the fact that this is there for people who want to learn, really, who are really called by this path. So it's there. Why shouldn't they look, try, read, listen? Of course, it's just there. It's available. So why don't? And it's difficult sometimes to spot the difference between the people who are just trying, picking, listening, sharing, trying to learn, trying to find their own path, this kind from the other one, the I was about to say the younger one. I'm sorry, this isn't true. It,
Right.
it might be at any age, but from the other type, the type that needs something in their life and hope that witchcraft gonna be like the craft the movie all over again. And this is not the same. There is people who just seek so desperately an easy way out of their trouble that, yeah, no, it's not absolutely not the same
Uh,
profile.
right. The interesting thing, Nikolai says, the reason why we think it's a trend is because we have computers to communicate to each other, whereas we didn't have computers hundreds of years ago, and you thought you were by yourself. But I don't necessarily think that's the only reason, because even if all of the individuals who are studying witchcraft, who are practicing, and who are seekers of witchcraft, who actually want to explore to see if witchcraft is where they belong or where they feel called, even if we were all still using computers and still posting about it, it still would be different than those individuals who are adopting witchcraft as an accessory. They're not interested in studying it. They just want other people to think they're into it, or they're using it to promote themselves as someone who is special or someone who is powerful, or they're looking to use witchcraft to sell something to make money and not for more deeper purposes. So I don't think it's just computers.
No, it's not. It's obviously a sign of a time. Obviously, it is, because right now the multiple way of communications between people are in the same time a blessing and a curse, because there is so much shit that travels as fast as internet can go around the world. So much lies, so much stupidity, hatred, and everything that goes along, that it is kind of a curse. Instead of enlighten people, it's like we are going backward. We are just like going back in the dark again, which is incredible, because this kind of tool should be helping us to share real thing, real experiment, real information, real truth about us, especially to share with other. But it's not the case. So obviously, also it goes into the witchcraft pagan world,
Mm-hmm.
and it's a sign of a time. Yeah, but it's not just about that. It's about, I think it told us more about the state of the mind of the people
Mm-hmm.
around the world, and it's not good.
Yeah, I feel like in some ways, having the ability to connect with other witches through the internet or wherever is a positive thing. But I also feel like you were saying, that everybody has the ability to share all this information, but how much of it is truth? How much of what they're sharing is a truth, and how much is just, someone mentions aesthetics. I mean, and I'm not saying aesthetics is a bad thing, but aesthetics, I feel like when we're talking about witchcraft is messy. Witchcraft isn't necessarily beautiful to look at. Witchcraft isn't something you want to take pictures of everything that you're doing, because some of it is pretty ugly. If your witchcraft is always just pretty, then what is it you're really doing? And some of it you don't even show. A lot of witchcraft is just internal stuff that you're doing, your practice, your craft, to get to a point where then you do something. But there's all this preparation that you can't show. I don't know. I feel like, for me at least, I like to keep a lot of my stuff personal. And I'm not putting everything I do. I'm not worried. And I really would prefer witchcraft not to be trendy, to be totally honest. I wish it was just quiet and you didn't know how many witches were out there. I kind of like not being in the trend.
I understand and I agree for the most part. The only thing is, usually for one bad thing, we have one good thing. And it's a good thing in a way that it become usual for people. They get used to see that. And so it helps to the pagan community to feel less put aside, less ashamed, or less strange or crazy. So this is the good side of it, that it helps everyone else in the society to get used to the fact that no, we are not batshit crazy witches and everything else in this idea. All the pagans path are as regular, if I may say, than any religious people. We are just, it's just the same. So it helps, kind of. Problem is being that superficial, because it's the thing we saw most of the time on Instagram and kind of everywhere. I'm sorry, because most of the books I've seen are empty. Honestly, there is nothing in there, in my opinion. So it's a waste of time. It's a waste of paper. So we are cutting trees for that. So yeah, in a sense, it's not okay, because people get used to something mm, like vain. They are used to see that, like, yeah, just grown-up people playing to be with art. This is not, this isn't, no, this is not the same thing. So I'd like it to be less trendy, even when
Yeah.
I agree that it helps society to look at that with a less, mean um, spirit. But
Yeah, I definitely agree. Saying that, the fact that witchcraft is more acceptable is a positive, but the fact that it goes from acceptable to trendy is my, problem. Because like you said, when it's a trend or when everybody's doing it, I feel like sometimes it's watered down, and then it's almost like you're trying to find the real witches. Do you know what I mean? Like the books that are really empty, the information that is being passed around that is really surface. It makes it more difficult to find the real content, whether it's on Instagram, whether it's on YouTube, whether it's in Facebook groups. There's a lot of shit to wade through to find the real stuff. Um, and that I find is frustrating as someone who is still trying to find information for myself. I don't feel like we ever stop growing as witches or magical practitioners. And when I'm out there looking for good information, I have to wade through all the shit to find the good information, because it's everybody you turn around is a witch. Or everybody's selling something that is with witchcraft, which, yes, it gives us more options, but I'd rather have quality versus quantity. I don't know. So what's going on in the chat there?
Sorry, I was kicking out someone. I don't
Oh,
have,
thank you.
yeah, I don't have any patience to deal with BS people, so be
I
aware.
missed
I
the
will
BS.
kick out anyone who pissed me off. That's be clear.
I missed the BS. Okay, let me scroll back and see what else. Sarah Moon's sister says it's nice that it's more acceptable now. That is a pro. It seems like the con is the misinformation going around, which may do more harm than good. I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
this is true. It's always difficult for. I agree on also on all of this. It's just I don't want to lose track about the fact that it might help anyway. This is just the only piece of thing that I don't want to lose, because it's important to acknowledge also the positive things. But on everything else, I agree absolutely. I think my major issue with this trendiness about witchcraft is also that it might lead people in a totally wrong or false path,
Mm-hmm.
leading them to believe that it is easy to become a practitioner of the occult. This is not. This is, as you were saying, this is messy, this is difficult, this is dirty sometimes. This is not like, shimmery and glamour and what the fuck is this, a model agency? No. No, this, this is not. And when I see some of most of the content on Instagram, gosh, I don't go there. It makes me mad. It makes me mad. People who are in the past for like 2 weeks starts to tell other how they have to do things or which book they should read or have to read. Hey, people, it's okay to share your experience. It's okay to share what you think was interesting for you. But I mean, don't forget where you come from. If you are in the things for 2 weeks, even if you are cold for many years, don't go everywhere telling people do this, do that, don't do it, it's not good. You shouldn't use a spirit board without doing this and that and all the Hollywood shit that goes around. Please, just be careful to what you say. You don't know what you're saying. Actually, we don't know, and we are careful on how we share our views on it, and we
Mm-hmm.
constantly reminds people this is our view. That
Mm-hmm.
doesn't mean this is this absolute truth. There is no gospel, especially not in the pagans practice. And when I see people just like, yeah, in the place for 2 weeks or so and telling advices, oh god, it's not good. It's not good at all.
Ruby says, I haven't been able to find many genuine, I think she means witches, since it's all teens doing trendy stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
And that's what we were talking about.
yes.
Shadow Sun says, I think there's a balance in what you share and how you share it. I like to share enough, but not enough that I'm getting really personal about my practice. And that's true too. That's how I tend to be. Sharing things to help other people, but keeping some stuff personal, because if we go back to the witch's pyramid, to be silent is the last side, which basically means not giving information to people who really aren't going to value that information. Not just throwing it out there for anybody, but really considering what you're sharing and what your audience is, who you want to share that with. And then I think there are just some things that you don't share.
Yeah, there's a lot of things that I don't share,
I know.
as you can tell, because I don't share. Just
And another Dylan Wilson, if YouTube witches didn't exist, I think I wouldn't be a witch because of the internet. Videos like yours helped me start out. Exactly. But I don't think I really ever really go into too much personal stuff. So again, that balance of what to share and what not to share. And I like this. Empty calories on paperback, huh? Exactly. About the books that are just, yeah, Timothy. Definitely.
Yeah, but after that, he was saying.
Oh, was he saying
and
stuff?
I kick it.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's okay. The first message I thought it, but it wasn't, and yeah, don't care.
Okay.
So, your channel wasn't and still is not trendy. You were really sharing your views and your experience on the thing, and you read a lot of books. You already like sort it out and pick, the one with content inside, and everything that you shared on your channel was valuable when you compare it with the Instagram account, because mostly it's the only thing I've seen recently. Yeah, there is not much to compare. Your is informative, and there are glimmers.
I wonder, I mean, and I think this is part of society's, modern society's attention, the problem with society's attention. And we talked, ObsidianFire and I have talked about this just in literary sense too, where it seems like the majority of people want to be spoon-fed quick, short information, and they don't want to spend the time learning. They want to just sort of have it all learned without putting in the effort, without putting in the work. They don't want to read a book if it's more than 100 pages long. They don't want to listen to a YouTube video if it's longer than 10 minutes long. Yeah. So Instagram is Insta. You get short. And I think even though you're able to do videos, they upload them in short little segments. So because that's the idea. Quick, one shot, one image, tell a story. And I do think things like that have a place. But my concern is that that's all. It's not just one place. That's the totality of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's where, right. And you can't get deep in 2 minutes. You can't get deep in 100 pages. You can get an overview, most certainly. And if you're looking to just sort of do a basic thing, just the basics, then okay. It doesn't all have to be deep. But when everything that's being published or everything that's being shared or everything that's being shown is just surface, and nobody in our society, or it seems like the majority of society doesn't want to dig deeper, I feel like that's when things get watered down and people have this misconception about what witchcraft is.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree that this is also a sign of a time.
Mm-hmm.
People doesn't want to think anymore. How many
I
times
know.
we did talk about that? Just you and I
know.
On this channel. People just don't want to think. People just don't want to get involved. People don't want to take responsibilities for anything. They want short, easy thing, not going too deep because they're going to force themselves to think about their life and the meaning of what they do, and they don't want to do that. They want to indulge in anything they want to, and that's it.
Shadow Sun
of the society is
frustrating. It is.
It's dangerous.
It is, yeah.
It is really dangerous. And when I look at the state of the planet and on the main country, we are going backward on many many important subjects.
I agree. Shadow Sun said, I think witchcraft as a whole is becoming more of a catch-all phrase in a sense. I think that the misinformation is causing it to become less and less of what it is.
Yeah.
And I agree, because now people are seeing all this very basic stuff, very surface stuff, and they're saying, oh, that's witchcraft, when witchcraft is so much more than just that.
Yes. Again, it's just the cover of the book. They are focusing on
the pretty
the
cover.
Yeah, and the prettier the cover is.
For example, I want to show an example, but let me see how I'm going to do this. Like, oh, here we go, piece of paper. I can cover some of it because I don't, oh wait, I have notes on the back of this paper because that's what I do. I put notes everywhere. Okay, let me see. So for example, this note has what I want to add to your next package. But so this book has a really nice cover, right? Mm-hmm. See, it's so pretty. Mm-hmm. It's so shiny. So shiny.
Yeah.
Such a pretty cover.
Peter.
But this book, I would prefer to read.
Yeah.
The cover's not so pretty.
No.
It's not so saleable, but I'd rather read this book than the one with a pretty cover. But the one with the pretty cover, I'm sure, has sold like crazy.
Yeah, because they buy an object to put in there on their shelf.
Right.
It's like a decor, you know.
Yeah.
Like little thing you put here and there to enlighten your house. It's an object to, yeah, it's a decor. Yeah, it's nothing else. It's nothing else. And most of the book I can see are like this. There are all pretty covers, and once or twice or sometimes more a nice drawing in it. And yeah, it looks nice, but it's a thin book with no information whatsoever.
Well, this has, let me tell you, it has information. I didn't read the whole book. It does have information in it. It has information. Let me just say that. It has information. It doesn't have the kind of information that you're going to find in the Witch's Bible. It's not this kind of information. Most certainly is not the same kind of information. And I'm not going to attest to whether it's good information that's given in that first pretty book or not. Like I said, I haven't finished reading it, but I can tell you I can definitely read it in a few hours as opposed to the other book, which is going to take me more than a few hours. And the quality of information is going to be different. It's definitely going to be different.
And there is also a problem here in my country because most of the really interesting books on the subject are kind of old already, if I may say. They are not going to be translated in my language.
Right.
What are translated right now are the not interesting one. There isn't, I didn't find one interesting book on the subject. So I don't pretend that, I don't claim that I know any books. Obviously not on the subject. So I really hope that there is a lot that I'm missing. But this is not the feeling I get.
Right. Evoke My Heart says, Trendy Witchcraft simply makes me think, not thing, of someone trying on an aesthetic based mainly on its appearance. Yeah, and not only, and like we were saying, it's not only about the individuals who are trying on witchcraft as an accessory, but there are companies and products being sold using witchcraft to get people to buy products, not just books. For example, I was in Hot Topic with my daughter, who loves going to Hot Topic, and I found a whole section of things with pentagrams and talking about magic, and it wasn't Harry Potter themed. That's trying to get people to buy Harry Potter themed things. This was basically just like generic witchcraft things that had nothing to do with a movie or anything, but just basically witchcraft, and trying to get the younger generation to buy these things because it's cool, not because of what it means. And that's what I mean. That kind of thing, I feel like we said, on one hand, it could be a positive thing because then witchcraft is more accepted. But then I also feel like on the other side, it's just watering down the true power behind witchcraft.
Yeah. Karen was saying something I found interesting.
Okay.
She was asking, do you think eventually those people will get bored and move on?
Oh, let me find it so I can highlight it. Oh, there it is.
And I think it's interesting because if we agree on the fact that they are looking for an aesthetic to glamour their life into something, then they please them more, or I don't know, help them to feel more special. Those people who come to it for those reasons, I think gonna in the end, move on, because it won't. There is few chances, let's say that this way, that these paths gonna really unfold for them, because it goes deeper than that. And so I would think that they won't gonna find what they seek in it by staying on the top, on the glamorous side, and eventually they will move on. I think so. When they're gonna get tired of it, when they're gonna find another trend that they would like to try, they're gonna, I don't know, go with the next yogi they're gonna see. I don't know. I don't think they're gonna stick with it, because there is few chances, in my opinion, that those people gonna find anything to fill their void.
Yeah, I think if you have 10 people that come to witchcraft because it's a trend, I think maybe one person who came to it as a trend starts learning about it and something ignites in them. But I think it's more likely that if you're coming to witchcraft because it's a trendy thing and you just like, because everybody thinks it's cool, so you think it's cool, when they move to the next trend, you'll just move with them. Yeah, but I think you may find one or two people that might actually stick to it.
Yeah, there will be, there always be. So there will be, but those people are part of the one who are truly seeking something for themselves. Yeah. And this is not their fault if 3 out of 4 percentage of the information out there are lacking of depth. They are not asking for it. So those one gonna stick because they're gonna continue to search something, to seek. This is the difference.
Shadow Suns asks, do you believe that the new recent books and authors are making witchcraft more watered down, adding to the trend?
I don't know, because I don't live there, and I cannot see the books that you maybe have seen recently. So I don't.
I think that if we're talking about the pretty books or books that are written that are just basic information, I think that there is a lot of books that are really just filled with things like correspondences and this is a wand, this is what it's used for, this, and without a lot of depth to even that information. I think it's just, I think I don't know, the pool is being filled with very surface stuff. And I do think the more deeper information isn't being shared. But then again, I feel like society isn't really looking for the deeper information anyway. So
Yeah.
even if the deeper information was being written, would it be bought? Would it be consumed?
Probably
You know?
not. Probably not. This state of mind, global state of mind of the society, is partly responsible for what's happening with the witchcraft and trendiness. We, as a whole, are partly responsible for that.
Yeah.
When,
Here's an interesting Ruby. I hope this is okay to ask. I myself am part of a racial minority group. How do you feel about minorities who adopt Wicca as a trend, but say it's wrong if anyone adopts any aspect of their culture? Ooh, Ruby, you're being controversial, my dear. Woo!
I don't have any example of that in mind, and I don't ask you to give me any. We are not
Well,
there
here we
to
go. Here's
or,
her example. She's got an example.
oh,
For example, in response to my own question, I think it's appropriate as long as it's being respected both ways, but it can't be okay one way and not the other. So I think what she's suggesting is if she's saying that part of a minority, a racial minority group. So say individuals who practice some sort of Haitian Haitian or African type magical practice, and me say I'm definitely European descent. I don't have, me personally, my children have some African heritage from their biological father, but I do not. So say I decide I am going to adopt that kind of spirituality as a trend from that culture. I'm going to wear something or do something because I think it's cool. People would cry cultural appropriation because I'm not paying any kind of respect to the culture. I'm just doing it because it's cool and it looks cool. So she's suggesting is how would we feel about that? Whereas if it was reversed, if an African decides to take something witchy or Wiccan related and they're using it just because it's cool, how would we feel about that?
the same way, exactly the same way. If it's lacking of death, it won't gonna serve anyone,
Right.
more you than others. It's perfectly okay to practice anyone you wanna practice if you are putting your heart in it, and if you respect what you do, if you really approach it with with truth in your mind and in your heart, really trying to, really trying to learn, really, really walk on this path. If you just pretend, it's not okay. And whatever, if this is a minority or not minority practice, or that's bullshit. The problem isn't there. And the problem is your state of mind. If you're doing this with really a lot of respect.
Yeah.
So
I agree. I think it has to, like she said, it has to go both ways. If you're claiming cultural appropriation in one aspect, then you claim cultural appropriation if someone's doing it the other way. I think it has to be respectful in both ways, Shadow Sun asks, do you believe social media is causing more problems than it solves for witchcraft as a whole? Do you believe it's perpetuating the notion that witchcraft is all about aesthetics?
actually, yeah. I think we are in this place that you've just described. Actually, yeah. And I can see around me some people who are falling into this trap, and this won't gonna solve anything for them. Actually, it makes things worse. Worse, really, because they are living a lie. They are escaping their reality. They are not gaining anything from it. They are just bullshitting themselves into, this kind of newborn witch thing with all of this wisdom. No, no, that sucks. So, yeah, I think it's a problem for each individual who are falling into this by because they are like desperately need something to help them. This won't help them, and so it makes things worse for them. It so yes, it's a problem.
I mean, I feel like if you're looking at it on a whole, we're generalizing here. I think social media is causing problems in a general sense. But I also think the individual consumer needs to take responsibility for
Yeah,
perpetrating the whole notion, I mean, just because it's out there doesn't mean you have to buy it. Just because it's out there doesn't mean you have to watch it. We need to take responsibility. And I think the problem is society is saying, I don't care, feed me whatever. I don't care, feed me too much sugar. I don't care, feed me too much salt. I don't care. I'm just going to sit here. You show me what I should watch. And that's the problem. People are allowing themselves to be fed crap.
Oh, yeah.
All right. So I'm only halfway through the comments here. My God. We have like 15 minutes. Let's see. Pretty books, pretty videos, pretty images are only going to continue to multiply because society is looking at them and buying them. We are part of the problem.
Yes,
pretty is not the, here it is. Pretty is not the problem. Aesthetics is not the problem. Quality and depth is the problem. Yes, Flory Mel, I totally agree with you. And I feel like society is deciding that they don't want quality. They don't want quality. They want pretty.
Yeah.
They want easy. They don't want to do the work. And witchcraft is about doing work. Witchcraft is about putting in effort.
Yeah. And it's difficult, you people. It's difficult. And you know it. If you are on this path, you know it. And you know it can take literally decades before you're gonna really be able to walk this path. It's a messy one. It's an interesting one, but a messy one. Because there is a lot of shadow work. And shadow work isn't about glittery books cover and nice picture. It's the opposite thing.
Nikolai suggests if you read a book that might be BS, but come out of that book with a different idea and one good spell for yourself, you did good. I disagree. I read a book, I want to get more than just one good spell. I want to get more than one different idea. I buy books with the hope that I am going to be really intrigued and really have a different perspective given to me. But unfortunately, recently, the books I'm reading if they're newer books, don't do that for me. It seems it's the older books that do that for me. So, I mean, I guess to each their own. And I do, yes, Shadow Sun, I do think companies are capitalizing on witchcraft. But I don't know if they'll stay around. It depends on how long witchcraft remains a trend to decide how long these companies will stay around. Since when has witchcraft been about aesthetics? Yeah, I agree. It's not just about what looks pretty. Wow, there's good conversation going on here in chat. Let's see. I like aesthetics too. I definitely enjoy aesthetics, but it's not what my witchcraft is about. Salem wanted to be on TV, on YouTube. Oh my God. What else do we have here? Give a thumbs up. Someone has to love this channel. Thank you. I hope everybody loves, well, not everybody. I know I'm not, this channel isn't everybody's cup of tea, but you know. Let's see. Witchcraft is like a smorgasbord. You pick and choose. I agree. Oh, yeah. Tim is bad. Oh, see, he says nice stuff and then he says bad stuff. You're on social media right now. I am on social media right now. But my point is that social media can be helpful, but I think that on a whole, it creates the ability for people to share very surface 5-minute things, and I don't see how someone can go really deep and get into some deeper topics in 5 minutes. You know what I mean? I mean, I can present you with an idea, but if you don't do the work yourself after you shut off the video, then you're only going to get an idea. And if you don't work with that idea, then you're not going to really gain anything from it other than me just talking at you for 5 minutes. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. Yeah, Kitty is a love sponge today. Her kitty is gorgeous. Mine is a brat. He's in the bedroom with my husband because he wouldn't leave the backdrop alone.
As usual.
Before we go, I have a video suggestion. Elemental spells, one day, one element, and share the spells. Yeah, we'll talk, maybe. I like to use this live stream for conversations more than just sharing spells. You can definitely do that in the Facebook group. That is definitely welcomed in the Facebook group. If you're not aware, we have a Facebook group called Deux, Wytches. And yeah, you can come on over there and share spells there. Okay, Dylan Wilson wants to know, what do you think of New Age, positive vibes, happy, bubbly trends? Oh, where everything is just joy, 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 love, 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 and there is no other shit? Is that what you're talking about? New Age, being positive all the time kind of thing? I don't think life is just all shits and giggles.
Yeah. You said yes. Well, it's a good thing to try to be positive because of law of attraction and everything like it. So it's a good thing to try to put out positivity for you and for the rest of the world. So on this part, it's okay. Word needs more positivity, obviously. But denying the darker aspects, I don't think it gonna make any good. You can just pretend that bomb doesn't exist. It won't prevent any one of them to explode.
Yeah.
If you see what I'm trying to express there, it's important to acknowledge that there isn't positivity everywhere, and that we should try to work around this. Okay, who is trying to?
I don't know. I think people forget that I'm on a live stream and they go in the kitchen and make lots of noise.
Yeah, obviously.
Yeah, I know. I think that having positive outlook and using law of attraction and trying to extend positive feelings and thoughts. Yes, it'll bring back sympathetic magic. It'll bring back positive things to you. But like you said, Obsidian, denying or repressing or ignoring negative feelings or negative emotions that you have, when you repress something, when you deny it, it's only going to build up and become a festering wound that you're holding inside of you. And pretty soon it's going to devour. It's going to be like a cancer. And if you go with that whole law of attraction idea, the things you repress, you're going to end up just attracting more of that too. And then it's going to manifest in physicality in your life, in your body, some way. So the idea is to integrate and to look at those negative things, to acknowledge it, to accept it, and then to try to transmute that into a more positive outlook. That's the whole idea in integrating shadows into your life and working through things and healing from wounds. I mean, if you have a wound and you just try to cover it up without treating that wound, it's going to become infected. So you want to treat it, you want to take care of it, and you want to try to heal it, not just ignore it, that kind of thing.
Absolutely.
So yeah, thinking and positive, bubbly things are good, but you don't, in that process, you don't want to deny the darker aspects too.
Yeah, absolutely. Because
you tried to find the Facebook group, but you can't. I will put I will put it, I don't think, can I link it now? Can we link it now in there? Maybe.
It's okay.
So you got it?
Why? It was a spinning thing.
Oh, I see. Witches, not witches. Got it.
Yeah.
CricketSong in the kitchen would be special to see what she makes and why. Oh, my potion. Actually, if you watch some of my practical witchcraft series, there are some spells there. I mean, I did some stuff. You can definitely see some aspects of what I actually would use. I have a whole series of videos in it. Why I chose what and what I did. Go check it out if you haven't watched those. Yes, acknowledging both positive and negative. Yeah. Yes.
That's why negates the darker parts isn't okay. Isn't okay.
Oh, you'd like to see a topic about making potions. Again, I mean, I don't know if Obsidian and I will ever do a show like that. If we do, great. But if not, find the Facebook group and start a post about potions. I'm sure people will join in because that's a fun topic. Yeah. Last thoughts about Trendy Witchcraft. We have about 6 minutes left.
It's just gonna be a sum up of what we were talking for a whole hour. It's just, there is positive aspect on this, but not so many compared to the not so pretty one. Trendiness in the end is just something gonna goes by. It's gonna end at some point.
Mm-hmm.
Let's hope that in the end it will at least help people to deal more easily with folks that are on a pagan path.
Mm-hmm.
If it's the thing that stands after the trendiness is over, it would be at least one good point,
Right.
one really good point. But but the emptiness of the society is everywhere, and especially in witchcraft and trendiness.
Right.
It's gonna be
Last
fast
question
now.
too from Shadow Sun. Do you think we as witches can do something to help the trend? I think that if we're more cautious or more careful about the things that we buy, the things that we support, the quality of things, the books that we spend our money on, if we're looking for more, less trendy authors, meaning, I mean, an author can be good and have a lot of good content and be trendy. I think that's what I would like to see. Instead of just things that look good and have no substance. So being aware of what you're purchasing, using discernment about, what you're adding to your repertoire. Again, there's nothing wrong with things that are pretty or shiny or nice to look at, but look for quality in it,
Yeah, absolutely. This is the thing we can do. All of us can do. Stop supporting anything, channel, account, Instagram account, books and store, and that are lacking of any depth.
The next live stream will be March, not next week, but the week after. March 13th. Hey, Friday the 13th.
Oh.
Friday the 13th. It will be our next live stream. We don't have a topic yet. We probably won't come up with a topic right away. We came up with this topic earlier today or yesterday. I don't remember.
This morning.
This morning. It was
for you this morning.
It was this morning.
For me, yesterday before I went to bed.
March, before she went to bed. March 13th, Friday the 13th will be our next live stream. And hey, I don't know how many of you, this has nothing to do with Trendy Witchcraft, but I don't know how many of you read my Secrets of Sin series, fictional series. I don't know how many of you read it or have read it. It's a free fictional series. It's a witchy series, and all the chapters are available online. But last year or the year before last, I think it was, or maybe 3 years ago. It wasn't last year. It was when I was still living in Massachusetts. I published a volume 1, which was chapters 1 through 35 of the story, and you could get it in paperback. It's still available on Amazon. If you haven't purchased a copy, you should. I got the proof for volume 2 today. Volume 2. This will be chapters 36 to 64, I believe. Yeah, 36 to 64. So this is chapters 36 to 64 in this volume. Not available yet on Amazon, but it will be shortly. I'll post it on my Facebook page when it's available for publishing. But chapters are available online, but I publish it in a paperback form. Oh, see, she has volume 1. That's volume 1. And this is volume 2. Yes, it's a very witchy story. So yeah, I'm so excited because it's going to be published soon. Yeah, you want to buy it? You should buy it. Volume 1 that Obsidian has, you can buy that right now and on Amazon. And like I said, volume 2 will be out shortly. I'm super excited. Yay.
You should be.
Yeah. And with Salem is telling us that it's time to end. So thank you all. It was a wonderful conversation. Hopefully this conversation shows up on YouTube in the pre-recorded when it goes up for people to watch it. Because I noticed before if I was trying to publish it to Facebook and YouTube, it wouldn't. So hopefully this does. So if you go back and read and watch, you can see the live chat too, hopefully. So until next time, thank you all. Thank you so much. This was a wonderful, wonderful conversation. It was.
Yeah, really interesting. Thank you all
Yes.
for being there, and hopefully we're gonna see you on the next
One.
show.
Yes. All right,
Bye-bye.
all. Have a great weekend. Love
Yeah.
you all.
Bye.
Bye. Blessed be.